The moment concert footage from APRocky's Baltimore show hit the internet, one question immediately replaced every other conversation happening around his tour. What exactly was he wearing underneath that stage outfit? And before Rocky or Rihanna said a single word about it, 50 Cent had already logged on, typed his caption, hit post, and watched the whole thing detonate. That is how fast this moved. That is how this works in 2026. Rocky's Don't Be Dumb World Tour launched May 27th in Chicago, and by all accounts, was exactly the kind of opening that reminded people why they had been waiting on him for 7 years. The production was massive, the crowd was locked in, and the cultural heat around him was real. The tour moved through major cities across the US and Canada: Toronto, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Las Vegas, Seattle, Detroit, then Baltimore on June 8th at CFG Bank Arena. Strong show by most accounts. And then the footage surfaced. As Rocky moved through his set, cameras caught what many viewers believed was a thong or G-string visible through his stage outfit. The clip spread within hours, not through a controlled rollout, not through a Fashion Week moment framed by a team of stylists, through raw, unfiltered concert footage of the kind where cameras catch exactly what they were not supposed to catch. The internet split immediately. Some people called it another boundary-pushing fashion moment from a man who has built a career on exactly that. Others were louder and less generous. And then someone floated the theory that the piece might be from Rihanna's Savage X Fenty line, which, for obvious reasons, poured an entire tank of gasoline directly onto the fire. Neither Rocky nor Rihanna addressed any of it publicly, which meant the internet got to write the story entirely by itself. To understand why this landed the way it did, you have to understand who APRocky actually is as a fashion figure, because this was not some rapper caught in a random wardrobe situation. This was a man who has spent over a decade actively, deliberately, and publicly dismantling what hip-hop fashion is supposed to look like. Rocky has earned the Fashion Killer title through actual choices that made people stop and stare. The patterned babushka. The sheer blouse long before sheer was a men's conversation. A thrifted blanket turned into a viral Met Gala look. Skirts, kilts, pearl accessories, oversized handbags. He dropped designer names like Jill Sander and Anne Demeulemeester in his lyrics back in 2013, not as flexes but as reference points, because for him, they genuinely were. In January 2026, just weeks before the tour launched, he was at Matthew Blazy's Chanel Haute Couture show in Paris, wearing custom rings from his own jewelry collaboration with Italian jeweler Codognato. That is the world Rocky operates in. Chanel couture shows and high-fashion collaborations sitting right next to Harlem Street credibility, navigating between luxury and streetwear with an ease that has taken years to build. His philosophy is on the record. During a Vogue podcast appearance in May 2025, he said that traditional gender boundaries in fashion are artificial constructs that should not limit creative expression. He has also openly acknowledged borrowing pieces from Rihanna's wardrobe without always asking first, which is exactly why the Savage X Fenty theory hit differently for Rocky than it would for almost any other rapper. It was entirely within the range of possibility, and the internet knew it. But here is where the Baltimore moment diverges from every other controversial fashion choice in his catalog. The babushka was chosen. The Met Gala blanket was chosen. The Chanel Couture show was chosen. Those moments were intentional, framed within controlled contexts where Rocky shaped the story before the audience received it. The Baltimore footage was candid. Nobody framed it. Nobody prepared a narrative. A camera caught something, someone posted it, and suddenly a man who has always controlled his fashion story was having it told without him. That gap between planned provocation and unplanned exposure is where all the ammunition lives. 50 Cent walked straight into that gap. Curtis Jackson has been doing this longer than most people have been online. His trolling craft dates back to How to Rob in 1999, a song where he hypothetically robbed Diddy, Jay-Z, Mace, and more before he even had a deal. Nearly 30 years later, the mechanism is the same, just faster and more precise. He does not need paragraphs. He needs one sentence and a screenshot. He has bought out front rows at concerts just to leave empty seats directly in front of the stage. He has turned a Versus challenge into full meme warfare. He has built a media empire, Stars deals, G-Unit films, Spirits brands, that runs partly on the attention his trolling generates. The scale of what he has built through this specific skill is genuinely hard to overstate. What makes 50 uniquely effective is timing. He does not fire randomly. He waits for the moment when the target is already at maximum visibility, already in a conversation everyone is watching, and then he walks into that conversation with a lighter. Rocky in the middle of his biggest tour in years, concert footage already spreading everywhere, internet already debating it. That is not just a target. That is a layup, and Curtis Jackson does not miss layups. The two of them have existed in the same lane of hip-hop culture long enough that 50 knows the angles. They have been photographed together at industry events going back years. After Rocky's legal situation in 2019, 50 publicly posted that he would bet $500,000 Rocky would beat his case. The relationship has always been more of a permanent simmering contrast than a deep beef, which actually makes the trolling land cleaner. This is not personal in the way some of 50's feuds are personal. It is ideological, because underneath the jokes about underwear is a full culture war that has been simmering in hip-hop for years, and the Baltimore moment gave it a single, concrete, shareable image to organize around. Hip-hop, more than almost any cultural space, has maintained a rigid set of visual codes for men. What you wear signals who you are, where you come from, and what you are prepared to defend. That is not just fashion, that is identity. Rocky understood this from the beginning and made a deliberate decision to take that identity and bend it slowly, consistently, and publicly over the course of his entire career. 50 Cent is the architectural opposite of that project. He has spent his career building himself into a specific kind of icon. Bulletproof, street-hardened, no fashion risk that does not serve that image. When he mocks what Rocky wore on that Baltimore stage, it is not just a joke. It is ideological. It is a reassertion of values that a significant portion of hip-hop still holds, and his audience for that mockery is not just people who found the situation funny. It is people who have watched the fashion-forward wing of the culture move further from where they started, and who finally had a concrete, shareable moment to point at and say, "See, this is what we have been talking about." That is what separates this from a regular internet joke. 50 was not just clowning a wardrobe malfunction. He was serving as a voice for a contingent of fans who have been watching Rocky's fashion choices for years with a specific discomfort they had never quite had a moment to crystallize around. The Baltimore footage gave them that moment. Rocky, to his credit, is not a man running from this conversation. He built his brand on provocation. Planned provocation, unplanned provocation, it all feeds the same machine. The people who were in Baltimore that night did not leave feeling cheated. The people holding tickets for the rest of the tour, Europe, the UK, Brussels, London, Milan, Paris, are not canceling. His fan base is durable enough to absorb a troll, even a good one. The catalog that built those fans does not disappear, because 50 typed a caption. What the Baltimore moment will leave behind is not permanent damage to Rocky's career. It is a specific visual, shareable, and infinitely memeable that the internet never fully forgets. There will be callbacks at future fashion moments. There will be think pieces the next time he wears something that sparks debate. And 50 will be watching all of it, probably with a caption ready. Two different versions of what a successful man from the New York streets looks like in 2026. One is on stage at arenas wearing Chanel and possibly Savage X Fenty on a global tour celebrating a long-awaited album. The other one watched the footage and typed a sentence. Both of them stayed exactly who they have always been. Both of them, in their own way, won the moment. Fashion Killa versus the King of Trolls. The internet picked a side, Rocky kept touring. Drop a comment, was this just Rocky being Rocky, or did 50 Cent have a point this time?